I will talk about a C word. In this case, it's conservation. Now, if we assume that the environment has an intrinsic value, an intangible value, in addition to the utilitarian value, then there is just no way that we wouldn't want to be caretakers of our environment and treat it in a respectful way. So conservation therefore means to allocate, to use, and to protect resources by maintaining the health of the natural world. And by that we speak of forests, fisheries, habitats, biological diversity. So the mandate of a conservation effort would be protection of biodiversity, protection of plants, animals, and habitat. Also, when we think of consumption, the reduction of non-renewable energy consumption, as we are already assuming that we are using energy for our lifestyle and for our sustainability, or being sustenance, sorry. Land management practices come under conservation, protecting, restoring habitat for animals and wild plants, preservation of ecosystems in oceans and seas, and preventing soil erosion. You would be surprised, as I was, to learn that more than 10%, in some countries up to 15% of the world, is legally protected in some way or other. And this protection is even more important in the developing world, where you will find 70 to 80% of all the species in the world. So effective conservation management is of utmost importance, and the odds are often conflicting with the efforts and with the outcomes. As we know, rangers, for instance, in Africa are often lonely fighters against poachers, and just simple people, population who press and push into protected land because that's what they need in order to survive and have pasture land and build agriculture and the like. Interestingly enough, on the other spectrum of conservation would be an example that I bring with me from the community that my daughter lives in, where a fence was built along a fairly small country road to protect the migration of the toad in the springtime. And in Banff, I saw along the Trans-Canada Highway, I saw a Wapiti elk bridge that had been established and introduced to allow for the movement of those magnificent animals. The next letter is the R, and if forests is the place that sustains the living, growing, and maturing of trees and plants, then reforestation is the effort to be managing and studying the renewable resource, which is the forest. If we plant trees in places where there had never been a forest, then we call it a tree farm. But as soon as we replenish what we have taken out or what was lost by natural causes, then we speak of reforestation. So this being a renewable resource, nonetheless we cannot jubilate since we have since our efforts are noticeable in numbers but not in quality. Whatever is reforested and renewed is not the biodiverse forest that has been taken out, but rather in many cases monoculture. And therefore, despite the better numbers that we've had in the last 10, 15 years, especially in developed countries, there's still much to be looked for when it comes to studying a rotation, tree reforestation, and the like. We know how important the forest is. It's a place of mythical dimension, a place of refuge, also a place of danger in many instances in former times. At least that's how it was felt. This was in the time before the GPS or compass. It is a place of beauty and health, and we need it in order to breathe and have oxygen. So what is very important is to be using a caretaker attitude, since what forests give us is the watershed protection, is natural water quality regulation, is also biodiversity, it is a source of food and wildlife habitat. No doubt, forests are important. Moving right along to the E as the next letter in ecology. Ecology is derived from the Greek word eikos, meaning home, eikos. So ecology is the study, the learning of home, the home planet, the home of where we live. So you're looking at the comprehensive and interdisciplinary science of the relationship of organism to the environment, and what ecology would, for instance, ask itself in its many variations is, what role does concentration of atmospheric carbon dioxide play in the regulation of global temperature? Or it could ask, what factors control zebra population? Or how does fire affect nutrient availability in grassland ecosystems? These are complex and multifaceted connections, and it is a relatively new science direction, but it is one that a lot of us are interested in, and I am always delighted to see a lot of young people turning towards ecology and its many variations for a study area. Now, as we are going on, we are coming to the A of creating, and here we have King Automobile. It was a German inventor, Mr. Carl Benz of Daimler-Benz, Mercedes-Benz fame, who is credited with having invented the internal fuel-based combustion engine. That beast that makes it possible to drive in great comfort and with great privacy and mobility just about anywhere where we figure we want to go and want to experience our independence and our luxury, as it were. We haven't looked back since Mr. Benz brought out his first vehicle, and we have made driving an integral part of many of our lives, and yet fossil fuel combustion is particularly, as it occurs in motor vehicles, is particularly the major culprit in the air pollution in the world. So when we do ecological footprints, for instance, which I encourage you at the end of this presentation to participate in, you will see that one of the major things that count right away against you is when you, first of all, have a car,